Hello, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on here. I'm excited to chat with you guys about what it's like to start your own bookkeeping business. So we're going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to pop on here. And wow, lots of people are popping on. Cool, cool. I'm excited. It's going to be a fun presentation. I'm going to share my screen really quick while I'm getting everything set up and ready to go. Can you guys comment in the chat and let me know, where are you tuning in from? I am tuning in from the Kansas City, Missouri area. It is nice and cold here and snowing. Our kids went back to school on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday they had snow days. But we are back to school again today. So yes, Emily says Ohio, it's cold there too. Tammy's from New Hampshire, Arkansas. Love that. Awesome. So you guys can hear me okay, and everyone can see my screen, yes? Zinnia from New Jersey. All right, awesome. Thank you, Tammy, for letting me know. So I'm gonna dive right into our presentation today so you guys can get all the information that you need. I love these to be interactive though. So if you're on here and you can chat with me, it makes it really fun for all of us to communicate. Even though this is a webinar, still love to be able to communicate with you guys. Got some Canada school canceled for you too, Desiree. Yep. And when I'm talking about a lot of stuff on here, all of this does apply to Canadians as well, Desiree, just so you know. Got some very successful students in the academy right now too from Canada. So the only thing that's different is that our funding options are a little different for Canadians. So I'll explain more about that later. But so welcome guys from Georgia, Arkansas. Awesome. So this webinar is going to be all about taking a dive into showing you guys what an exciting journey it is to be a business owner if you aren't one already, specifically with owning a bookkeeping business. It's one of the most profitable companies that you can own. Forbes.com put an article out not too long ago. Well, I think it's been a couple of years, but if you Google top most profitable businesses that you can start specifically from home, I believe, and bookkeeping and accounting is in the top 3 of all most profitable businesses. So there's lots of businesses you can start, but this is my preferred business because I love profit. I love to be able to take home as much as possible from my business to be able to use in my personal life. And that's why I love a bookkeeping business specifically. But I'm going to show you exactly how you can utilize this to be able to work from home or even from the road and achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences. So just so you guys are aware, by starting a bookkeeping business, you can actually get up to the point where you are making $5,000 per month, working only about 10 hours per week doing the bookkeeping work. And you can get up to that within just a handful of months. And this is possible and doable even if you currently work full-time and have to build this around your full-time work schedule. And even if you have kids at home, and even if you have never done bookkeeping before. So this is what I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do on this call. And then if this is something that you're looking to accomplish for your family, you guys are in the right place. And this webinar is going to be really beneficial for you. So in case some of you guys are new to our world here, want to introduce myself. My name's Tiffany Higgins. I am a CPA and I am a mom of 5. And I founded the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy back in 2019. And this was after I spent about 4 years as a bookkeeping business owner. And I saw all the wonderful things that happened to my family reflecting back from 2015 to 2019, how incredible our life had become and how much we were able to achieve in that short time. And it just drastically changed our entire life and our entire future and our kids' future. And I'm really passionate about showing you guys how this bookkeeping business can do that for you as well. So that's why we started the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. But when I had my bookkeeping business from 2015 to 2019, I was actually able to work part-time from home. I grew my business with a 6-month-old on my hip and 2 elementary school age children fairly quickly and easily. So much so that within about 7 months of getting started, I brought in enough money to cover all of our typical family finances, which allowed me to be able to also retire my husband from corporate America as well. So on Christmas Eve of 2015, that was his last day of working a corporate job. And then he got to be a, part-time stay-at-home dad, part-time helping me in the bookkeeping business. So it was a really awesome Christmas present. And I would love to gift that to you guys all as well. So I grew my business steadily over a few years until I was making over $200,000 a year. And I was working less than a typical 40-hour work week. And so that was really nice. I mean, I was close to that, but I rarely ever worked more than 40 hours in a week. And I didn't have to commute. I didn't have to punch a clock or sit through an hour-long lunch break just because it was required and things like that. So, but because of this flexible schedule and the relatively low time commitment that it takes to actually get the bookkeeping work done, I was able to bring in this money, but also still, spread my duties around between what the family needed. So, for example, we decided to grow our family. I was able to bring twins into the world, and then I even dedicated a ton of time to be able to almost exclusively nurse these twins for 2 years, which, if you don't know, is a huge time commitment. And I was able to do that while still continuing to grow my business. And my husband and I were making more money than we ever had combined at our corporate jobs before, which was really awesome. We also then decided to homeschool our older 3 children as we moved to a different city, and they didn't want to, acclimate to different public schools. So we just decided to homeschool them at that time. So I'm homeschooling 3 kids, living in a new city, nursing twins, and all the while our bookkeeping business is still growing past the $200,000 annual income mark. So I won't say that it was easy. That was a lot of chaos for our family, at the time, but we got to do all the things that we really wanted to do, all the things that were really important to us as parents and as a family. And this business allowed us to do that. So I'm really excited to show you guys exactly how we did it so you can replicate this process for yourself and your family. So I would love for you to type a yes in the chat if you would love to work from home with reduced hours, but have more money coming in and still be available to your family anytime they need you. So if that is something that you are really, really wanting, type a yes in the chat. And that's what this entire call is going to be about, showing you guys how you can accomplish this. So at the Bookkeeper Academy, we've made it our mission to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is what we stand for. This is why we are here. For fun, though, our motto is have your cake and eat it too. I've always hated that saying. Why can't you have your cake and eat it too? You should be able to. And we want you guys to be able to have both. We don't think that you should have to choose between being the parent you want to be for your kids, but also being able to fully provide for them financially. So we don't choose. And on this call, I'm going to show you guys how you can have your cake and eat it too, reaching financial freedom for your family while being able to spend time with them on your terms. So I'm curious who all we have attending today. We've got a lot of people on here, and I see some familiar names, but type a 1 in the chat if you have attended one of these webinars here in the recent, maybe 2-3 months, or if this is your first time attending, type a 2. Awesome. So many new people. This is great. I'm going to grab my cough drop. All right. Man, so many new people on here. Thank you guys so much for commenting. And just so some of you guys know, we have 2 different options to chat. You can chat with just the host, or you can chat with everyone when you click that blue box. So I'm seeing some people are chatting with me directly, but there's a lot of great new people on here as well. And welcome, Rebecca. I see that you are returning. Awesome. So again, welcome back if you are returning and getting more comfortable with the idea of becoming a business owner. And for everyone that's new, welcome again. We're going to go over a ton of information here. Sometimes these webinars last until 12 or 12:30 Central Time, which is like 2 to 2.5 hours. So I know that's a long time, especially if you guys are at work or have jobs or whatever. If you have to leave early, that's okay. This is going to be recorded. If you do have to leave early and you want to pop on at the end to ask questions again, feel free to come back. I'm going to stay on until all your questions are answered. And then my husband, Sean, will be texting everyone, and you'll be able to get access to the replay as well. And then from there, we'll be able to answer any questions you have, and you'll have a direct line to us. Again, I do these webinars every Thursday and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So you're welcome to hop back on anytime that you need to. If you've got a significant other or a friend or family member that's going to help you make the decision on starting your own business, you're welcome to bring them, help them get all the information as well. And if you know anybody else that wants to do this too, you can invite them. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you on here. Good morning, Lakeisha. So, like I mentioned, I love questions. At the Bookkeeper Academy, it's kind of our backbone of how we help people. We do lots of teaching, but we also like to pull questions out of you so we know exactly how to help you specifically. So don't be shy. Feel free to ask me anything you're curious about. Like I mentioned, you can chat with everyone, or you can specifically just send a message to the host, which is me, if you want to send me, a direct private message as well. Transparency is one of our core values here at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I would love to help clear up any question you have so you know exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. Yes, Teresa, happy to have you on here, but she is already a member of the Academy, so no need to sit around on here if you don't want, but I appreciate you hopping on here. So here's the agenda for our meeting today. The first thing that we're going to do is go over the investment options and our new guaranteed approval program. And this is where no matter what your situation, you can get funding, financing, or a loan to join our program on the lowest payment plan that we've ever offered. This lender came to us in September, and so far we've been able to help, I think my husband calculated up over 100 people be able to start their businesses specifically with being able to utilize this lender. So I'm going to talk about all of that right off the bat because I want you guys to understand what that is going into it. I don't want you to sit through this whole webinar wondering what's the catch, what's the cost. So I'm going to show you guys that at the very beginning. And then you'll be able to see as we go through the presentation, how are you going to be able to get your return on investment here? And then how much more are you going to be able to make to be able to pull into your personal life and to be able to utilize for your personal finances? So after we talk about the investment, the next thing we're going to do is go over your goals. So obviously the first goal is going to be how can you, pay for the investment, right? But we're going to be talking about from there, what are the other goals that you have for your family? So determining that baseline of where you are now, where you want to be, then I'll be able to show you exactly why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family and how you can utilize it to help reach these goals that we just set. So then at the end, we'll talk about how our team can actually help you build the foundation for your business that you're going to need to carry the success into the future for years to come, whether you are an experienced bookkeeper or whether you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So you guys ready to get started? You ready to learn about all of this stuff? This is an exciting time, especially for so many of you guys that are new on the call, because this is just going to be life-changing for you. So I'm going to give you guys some details first about our Bookkeeper Academy investment and how you can get started with our new guaranteed funding program. And then if you're new here, you'll be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. So the investment for the Bookkeeper Academy program is only $12,000 for an entire 12 months of support. We help you learn the skill of becoming a bookkeeping business owner so that you can make $100,000 in your first 12 months. So you go from literally making $0, being a brand new business owner and brand new to bookkeeping, to potentially making over $100,000. And at this point, you would also still be working part-time. So when we have people come into the academy, some people pay in full, but we also have a payment plan that I'll show you guys about as well if you don't have the $12,000 laying around, right? Most of us don't. But I want to talk about your potential return on investment first. So when you invest in yourself, in your skill set, in a business, you're going to get the biggest return on investment that above and beyond anything else. So for example, if you invested in a savings account, a CD, maybe the stock market or 401k, or maybe even real estate, you're going to get a return on investment of that. But it's typically a much smaller return, anywhere from like 0.5% up to maybe 7%, and sometimes can drag out over years. Sometimes it takes 5, 7, 10 years to actually see a return. Those things are great though, because they're passive, right? But they are a very small ROI. So when you invest in your skill set, and specifically when you invest in a business, you're going to get the biggest ROI there. And then you'll be able to take the profit from your business to then invest into those passive things. So we want to point out that it is very possible for you to get a 10x return on your investment, even in the first year. Now, also what we've seen too is a lot of our students that are willing to and interested in having a large company and continuing to grow, they're able to double or almost double their business size for every year they're in business. So if you calculate that up, let's say over, the course of 2 or 3 years, you make $300,000, $400,000. Obviously, that's a much larger return on investment, right? And it's something that is very, very possible. It does take time. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is building a legitimate business. And it sometimes takes time to get up to that. But even in your first year, it's highly possible for you to get a 10x return on investment. I will say a good chunk of our students do accomplish this, but we also have a good chunk of students that aren't really looking to make $100,000 or $200,000 a year. They are looking to have their time back instead. So maybe they're happy with their 40, 50, 60, $70,000 salary, but they want to work 10 or 15 or 20 hours a week instead of 40 or 60, right? So we kind of have two different types of people that join our program: those that are wanting to see how much money they can make, and those that are wanting to maybe keep their finances similar, maybe make a little bit more, but drastically reduce the time commitment involved into their career. So there's kind of two different paths you can go in our program, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But the other cool thing about our program is that our students can start making money right away. So you don't have to go through our full Bookkeeper Academy for the full 12 months in order to start making money, like you would have to do if you went back to college for this, right? Because of that fact, because you can actually make money right away, this is why our lender is able to approve anyone and everyone that wants to join our program, because they know you guys are going to start making money, to not only be able to cover the monthly payment to the lender, but then to also have that extra cash flow coming into your family in every single month moving forward. So even if you have bad credit, that's okay. Even if you don't have a job right now, they are still willing to approve you if you can make the monthly payment. And even if you have a tight budget, let's say you can only make the monthly payment for like 3-4 months before it's like, oh, I really need money coming in. That's okay, because we know we can get you some clients coming in. So that way, even if you can only swing this for 3-4 months, you'll be able to start bringing in income that will cover that monthly payment and apply more money to your family finances as well within that short time frame. So again, everyone is approved for financing. So even if you're watching this and thinking, I don't have $12,000, it's okay. We can get you in on a loan if this all makes sense for your family, right? So if you do decide to go through our lender, our funding specialist, the monthly payment for our Bookkeeper Academy program is around $640 per month. So you only need the first payment to get started. And then of course, every 30 days that monthly payment will be due. Now, I'm going to go into this in more detail here coming up, but this is the equivalent of only 1 to 2 super small bookkeeping clients. So if you can make money right away and you only need 1 to 2 clients to cover this investment, you can kind of see how easily it'll be to be able to not only make this monthly payment, but then also add more money into your family. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, how many clients you would actually need, and the average timeline it takes to get there here shortly. So this is also, just for full disclosure, based off of a 24-month payment plan, which would put you at paying a total of $15,360 over the 24 months, right? But actually, most of our students are able to pay this off early because of what we call new client sign-on fees, which I'm going to show you all about on an upcoming slide. And if you pay it off within 12 months, it's also interest-free. So you can save that $33.60 in interest, and you won't even actually have to pay that. So I'll show you guys how our students are able to pay this off early with their bookkeeping business as well. And then I'll give you guys some information on applying for funding here shortly. So obviously too, you guys can pay us directly. We have 2 options for paying. Obviously, you can pay the $12,000 directly in full with a bank account or credit card. And then we also have an option where you can put $3,000 down, and then the rest of it can be paid over monthly payments, interest-free monthly payments for the remaining of the 11 months in the academy. So those are the options. So now that we kind of have that out of the way, I want to talk about mindset for a second. Do you guys believe that you can make $100,000 in 12 months? If you have the right tools, the right opportunity, and the right mentor, do you think it's possible for you to accomplish this? So I would love for you guys to type a 1 for yes, I do believe in myself that I could accomplish this with the right guidance, or type a 2 for no, I cannot possibly imagine how I could ever make that kind of money for my family. So I'd love to know kind of where you guys are at. What are you thinking about that possibility? So Tammy says 1, but scared. Yes. When you start a business, it's very nerve-wracking. It's very common to be nervous when you first start. I don't think a single one of our students, including myself, didn't feel nervous or scared at times. But that's okay, because it's going to be worth it to you. The results that you get are going to be worth, stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. But I love that you said that, because really, mindset is key. When you start a business, we focus a lot on mindset, and we help you with that in our Bookkeeper Academy, because the first obstacle that you face is believing in yourself. So, and this is the biggest obstacle that most of our students have, is any limiting beliefs that they have acquired over time. We've all had a lot of, things happen to us in our life and our experiences, and that shapes our beliefs, right? Sometimes those beliefs are not accurate, and they're not serving us, right? So we work on helping you guys expand what you believe is possible for yourself. And we do this a lot in our academy. So as we go through this webinar, if you're the type of person that kind of struggles with believing in yourself, or thinking that, you can have what some of these other people have that you see on social media and things like that, I want you to spend the time during this webinar and really practice imagining truly having these results for yourself. And if you can believe in yourself enough to be able to follow the steps, because we have the exact path for you to reach all of your goals. And we will help you overcome any obstacles that come your way. But mentally, you'll probably have some mental obstacles, right, that come your way. And we want to help you guys overcome those, so you can get the success that you all, each and every single one of you, deserve. Okay. So first, I want to talk about the goals. And this helps us keep our mindset on the right track. And to be able to have our goals, start with our goals, know why we're doing this, and also be able to measure our success at various intervals. So when we talk about goals, specifically, we're going to start with financial goals. That way you have complete clarity as to what to expect when you move forward with starting your bookkeeping business. And from there, we're going to treat this like a ladder. The top rung of your ladder is going to be the biggest goal, but we're going to chunk it down into smaller goals. These are the rungs of your ladder. And it's really important to have small, manageable goals to set, because in that way, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you going, and it keeps you excited. Even though you may be a little nervous or scared, it keeps you excited about moving forward because you can see progress, right? After we talk about the financial goals, which are important because you can't accomplish any of these other goals unless you have the money that you need for your family and your life. But then we're going to talk about what are your time goals. A lot of people want to do this business because it is so flexible. I'm literally going to show you guys how you can make $100 an hour or more as a bookkeeper, which if you do the math there, that'll allow you to decrease the amount of hours you are currently working for the money that you are earning now, right? So that could effectively buy you some time back. And this is the main reason I started my business, because I wanted to spend more time with my daughter who had just been born. So I'll explain how that works, how you can reach those goals. And then we'll talk about location goals too, because this business is something you can do 100% virtually. And so that way you'll be able to do this from home or travel around and keep your clients happy. So we're going to talk about all of that. So drop a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready to get started. You're ready to talk about financial goals. So the first thing we're going to do is put these into 3 different categories. The first one is what I call the bare minimum goal. Now, this is the bottom rung on your goal ladder. So think about a very small, manageable goal that you can attain. This is the first one, basic goal. It's going to give you confidence that even though you may be scared or nervous, that you're on the right path and it's worth it. Okay, so I'll give you an example of what my goal was, and then I want you guys to type that in the chat, what your goal is. Okay, so back in 2015, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job. But I had just had my third daughter. She was about 6 months old, well, when I started my business, but I had just had her and I could not bear to put her in daycare. And I was going into tax season. She was born in November and tax season was starting. And that's when we work even more hours. And there was no way I was going to put her in daycare for that long. So we figured out a way to splurge and come up with money to have a nanny come to the house. And so at that point in time, for a part-time nanny, we were paying about $1,500 per month. And that was a really big hit to our budget. We didn't have that much disposable income. And so I was only bringing home a net amount of about $2,000 per month after paying my nanny. And I was working all these hours. So I knew if I quit my job and I at least could figure out a way to bring in $2,000 a month, that I could survive for a little while, but I would have all that time back with my daughter. So that was my first goal that I wanted to accomplish for myself. I knew if I didn't accomplish that, I'd have to go get a job, right? Another job. But that was my goal. And I wanted to accomplish that. However, I needed to do it. I wanted to be able to do it. So what would be your first goal? That very first rung on the ladder, what would you want to make as your first goal? So type that in the chat. And while we are doing that, I want to talk about the next goal. So the next goal is the comfortable and content goal. This is what I call it. So this is where I felt a little worry-free. I didn't have to worry about budgeting every penny or taking the family out to dinner on a whim. For my family, it was around about $5,000 to $6,000 per month. So if you guys can type these numbers in the chat, this would be fantastic. Everyone hear me okay? Because we got a lot of people on here and only one person commented in the chat. So just want to make sure everyone can hear me. But we need actual specific numbers so that you guys can see how exactly you can accomplish this. Hey, Kayla, thanks for being on here. Okay, so for my family, it was around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. And that was, back in 2015, and we live in the Midwest. So obviously it's a little bit cheap, but this is our main expenses. I was able to cover all of our bills and things like that. And this allowed me to reach another goal, a lifestyle goal of allowing my husband to quit his job, because I knew if I could hit my first goal and then I could hit my second goal, that even though him quitting his job put us in a little tight spot again, I knew I could get to the next level. So these rungs on the ladder kept giving me more and more confidence to keep going. So that's what's going to happen to you guys as well as you go through this. So curious, what is your goal number 2? So thank you, Kelly, for letting me know you can hear me. Type that in the chat as well. So we've got for goal 1, 2 to 3,000, 2 to 3,000, 3,500, 2,000. Goal number 2, 7,000 for Sharonda, and maybe 10 or 15,000, 5 to 6 for Kayla. Okay, perfect. So Kayla's yours are kind of spot on with mine, I see. So then from here, I love to talk about this as goal 3 as a wow goal. For now, this is going to be like the top rung of your ladder. But what we see a lot of times is once students start to climb that ladder, the ladder starts extending and more goals just magically appear, because there are things that you never realize that you can even accomplish in your life until you start taking steps towards it and action towards it, right? And so then all of a sudden your mindset expands to this possibility of maybe even exceeding your wow goal, and then your goal ladder, it starts to extend, right? But right now, this wow goal would be something that would be like at the top of your ladder. So it would be something that would help you guys to start work towards some of those bucket list items that you've been talking about. For us, I used to watch my boss take like 2 and 3 week long trips and vacations across the country. He would drive to Sedona, and then he would drive up to Estes Park, and he would go to Italy for 2 weeks. And I was so jealous of that. I wanted to be able to do those things. And so, I knew if I wanted to be able to accomplish that, I'd need to make at least $10,000 a month. With having a family at the time, it was a family of 5. Having that kind of money would allow us to take some, small but extended trips. And so that's what I was working towards as my wow goal. And this would, effectively double what we were making every single month in our family when we both had full-time corporate jobs. It allowed us to skip budgeting. We didn't have to penny pinch anymore. We were able to take those extended family vacations. We were actually able to buy a brand new car, and we were even able to upgrade our house with a pool. So this is what I was looking for to being able to accomplish. So type in the chat, what would be your wow goal that you could accomplish? Tammy says, ideally replace my income altogether. I will need 10K to replace net pay and additional FICA. So yes, 5 to 7, 15 to 20, 9 to 10, 10,000 financial goal 3. Love it. Okay, great. So now that we have a lot of clarity on our financial goals, I want you guys to remember these, write these down, because on a chart in upcoming here soon, you're going to be able to work through those and see exactly what that's going to look like for you to be able to accomplish that, what the timeline is and the path. So keep these written down. So now that we have some clarity on this, let's pivot to our time goals. I want you guys to think about really quick, how much do you currently work right now per week? And I would include all of the hours that you're away from home or away from family, the commute, everything. So for me, I worked about 40 hours a week on average, and because I worked really close to my home, and I could work through my lunch break. So mine was a typical 40-hour commitment on average, but my husband, unfortunately, was commuting to downtown Kansas City. He was fighting traffic. Oftentimes he had to work late. So he was typically gone about 60 hours a week. So that was his total investment into his career. So I'd love for you guys to type your current investment down. Tammy says 65 hours. Hannah says 40 to 50. And if you are unemployed, or if you're a stay-at-home parent, but you had to go out and support your family and get a job, how many hours would you have to work to make a decent salary? So you can type that in the chat, and we can work off of that. Now, in a perfect scenario, what would your preferred time investment be? So let's say with this business, you have to work a little bit. We're not all independently wealthy, and we didn't win the lottery, unfortunately, but let's say we are growing this awesome business and we do have to work a little bit, but we could set our own schedule and our own hours and we could make as much money as we wanted, but we did have to work a little bit. So, what would be the preferred time investment? It's different for everybody, and this is totally dependent on your current life situation, right? What's important to you? Do you want to work 15 to 20 hours a week? Do you want to work 40? Do you still want to work, 50 hours and grow your business like crazy? It's completely up to everybody. So, um, let's see. Raina says 30. Hannah says 20 to 25 would be the dream. I love that. 25 to 30, 32, 20 to 30. 15 to 20 hours per week. I love that. Awesome. Now, keep in mind with a bookkeeping business, flexibility is key here. You're going to not only get to pick your hours, but you get to choose the time of day and the day of the week that you want to work as well. It's super, super flexible. And I want you guys to know that you're going to have control over that. These numbers are also important because I'm going to show you a roadmap here on an upcoming slide as well. So keep these hours in mind of how much you're currently investing, how much you want to invest. All right. And lastly, just real quick, let's chat for a minute about location freedom goals that you have. Do you want to work from home? Do you want to work from an RV? What about being able to freely visit family that live across the country? Or, do you have a preferred travel schedule? Do you want to take more vacations and trips? So type in the chat, where is it that you're mostly looking to work from? Do you want to have the flexibility to just be home with your kids? Or do you have travel plans that you're really wanting to accomplish by having a virtual or an online business? So type that in the chat. And while you guys are doing that, also, I'd love to know what other goals that you have for your family, debt payoff, buying house, investing, things like that. So I'm going to read you a quick example of a student that was really able to accomplish some awesome debt payoff. And I want to read this to you so you guys can understand how much potential there is with a bookkeeping business if you stick with it and you keep consistent. So this is a student named Jara. She joined our program in 2019. And here's what she said. She posted this in our academy on August 18th, I think, of 2021, possibly. So this is a couple years old, which means she's grown even more from here as well. But here's what Jara says. She says, "Hello, everybody. I wanted to share an amazing win of mine, and I hope it lifts and encourages you to know that you can do it too. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my 4 kids. My husband graduated chiropractic school with around $175,000 of debt, and we were just squeezing by to pay all expenses on top of the ever-crushing school loan. I had worked full-time up until I had my kids, and though I enjoy being a mother, I always wanted to get back into the work field even just for a day or two. I tried looking for part-time jobs, but at $9 an hour or less, I didn't get a higher education, so making more was out of the question without going back to school." She said, "I researched and followed several groups, school programs, and tried to get into marketing, which ironically, she said, I was awful at. And someone had mentioned Tiffany's group, and though I didn't have bookkeeping experience, I really enjoyed finances and problem solving. Of course, with things being tight, I worried that I would spend the money and I wouldn't see a return. I contemplated for a couple days, and my husband encouraged me to just go for it. One of the best decisions that we have made," she said. "I joined summer of 2019 and I opened in October of 2019. It took me about 3 months to land my first client. It's had its ups and downs, but I am so glad I decided to take that chance. Fast forward to now, I have 25 monthly clients as well as contract work for a CPA. I have 3 part-time employees and I put in roughly 20 to 40 hours a week. I do this all from home." She says, "I still homeschool my kids, take vacation days, and schedule things on my time. I put in a lot of evening hours so I can spend the day with my kids. Are you ready for the big news?" She says, "We paid off our loans," which is crazy because it was $175,000 worth of loans. She said a 30-year loan in less than 5 years, and the majority was paid in 2020 and 2021 when she had her bookkeeping business going, right? We are now saving up a down payment to build our dream home, which I certainly will share pics once it comes together. I make more per hour than my husband, and he took 8 years of school, and I took Tiffany's program for a small fee. I'm also not capped at what I can earn. I'm not limited to how many hours I can work. I can contract out, hire more employees, and continue to grow as big as I want. The sky is the limit. I'm just so happy I stumbled upon this group. Thank you to Tiffany for making it possible for this mom to dream big. So I love sharing that with you guys because I want you to see that, like I mentioned, it's not a get rich quick scheme, but if you put in the consistency and you follow our steps and you grow this bookkeeping business, you can accomplish amazing things with it. And how life-changing for her family to eliminate $175,000 worth of debt, right? It's pretty awesome. Some of the things that I was able to accomplish, even within just my first year of starting my business, I bought this brand new car to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. So in June of 2016, we bought this brand new van, actually completely paid it off within about 6 months. It was a $45,000 van, and I was approved for this and paid it off with living off only our bookkeeping business as our sole income for our family. We actually still drive that car today. And then we took that car, that van, and we took our kids on a 16-day vacation across the country. We stopped in Estes Park, Colorado, and went hiking. We went to Mission Beach, California, and hung out on the beach for 10 days. And then we stopped by the Grand Canyon before driving home. And this was like a dream come true for me because I kept watching my boss, take these vacations. And I was always so jealous and wanted to take these kind of trips. But when you don't have vacation time built up and taking time off and taking a hit on your paycheck isn't really possible. So this business allowed me to reach that goal that I had. The other cool thing is on this trip, I brought my laptop with me and I did some basic, time sensitive things, but I just really did the bare minimum of the bookkeeping. And when I got home, I just got caught up on the bookkeeping, which is a really cool thing about a bookkeeping business is that it's very flexible as far as deadlines. Most of your deadlines are going to be monthly. So that gives you an entire month to structure how you want to do the work, which, you want to take a week off every single month and then just get caught up when you get back. You can do that. Super easy to do that. We were also able to upgrade our house, and we used our bookkeeping business income to get approved for a loan. When we had the twins, we felt like we were exploding in our current home, so we just looked into this. This was a $412,000 house that we were able to get approved for literally only 3 years after opening my bookkeeping business, and we used our bookkeeping business income to be able to get a traditional home loan for this house, which is awesome. So I'd love for you guys, if you haven't already, to type in the chat, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish? What are on your bucket list items? If you reach your wow goal, what would that look like for you guys? I know Hannah says investing and saving for retirement, staying home with future babies. Love that. Buying a house for Zinnia. So need to increase income. Yes, absolutely. Tammy says, I suspect I'm not in your niche market. I have an elderly mom at home instead of kids, but it creates the same desire to work from home. We have not saved enough for retirement and quickly running out of time. My extra goals are earn enough to invest in real estate and other passive income streams. Yes, absolutely. Ironically, Tammy, even though I'm speaking to people that have young kids at home because that was my situation, I would say we probably have a good 50% of our students in the academy are in their upper 50s, lower to mid 60s that are actually doing this because they want to be able to retire, have flexibility, spend time with their grandkids. I actually have a coach who was in our academy and now is one of our coaches, and she specifically does this. She doesn't have kids either, but she takes care of her two elderly parents as well. And her desire at first was to see how much money she could make. But then when her parents got sick, she decided to focus more on, let's work less and spend more time with them. So she still makes over $100 an hour. Actually, when I interviewed her for the podcast, she was like, do I have to tell everyone how much I make per hour? Because I don't really want my clients to know, because she actually makes sometimes closer to $200 an hour with her bookkeeping business. And we do this in fixed packages. So your clients don't really know how long it takes you to do the work or how much you're making. They just know they pay the fixed fee every month and then they get this awesome bookkeeping service. So, yeah, even though you're not, in the target of what I'm talking about, because you're slightly your situation is slightly different than mine, no worries, because this is still exactly what we help people with, whether you have kids or not. And we have people in our academy that don't have kids, that are younger. We have single men in our program. It's everything. So if you resonate with any of this, you can still benefit from all of this, right? This isn't just for moms, right? Um, okay, I love all the stuff that you guys have been putting in here. Okay. So now that we've got all of these goals and what you guys can accomplish figured out, I want to show you guys the exact roadmap to achieving these goals. How does one actually get to this point to be able to achieve the things that they want in life with this business? So this is going to give you complete clarity on what the process looks like, an approximate timeline on how quickly you can reach these various goals that we talked about. And again, this webinar is going to be recorded, so stick around with me because I'm going to answer every single question you guys have on all of this information that we present here. Okay, so if anything is confusing, let me know and I'll go into more detail about it. So the first thing that I like to go over is the average time it takes students to reach various levels of consistent, reoccurring, dependable monthly income in their bookkeeping business. Now, there are several ways you can earn income in your bookkeeping business, like cleanup jobs, commission income, payroll income, things like that. Those aren't nearly as consistent as monthly bookkeeping fees, but I'm going to talk about those a little bit later. They're not included on this chart. This is just a conservative, realistic picture of monthly bookkeeping fees that you can collect from business owners to be able to rely on this every single month into the future. So even if you don't add another single client to your plate, these clients will typically stay with you for years and years and years. And then you can count on this money coming in every single month, even if you decide to completely stop marketing. But I'm also going to show you on an upcoming slide how you can make even more money with cleanup jobs and things like that as well. But this just talking about dependable monthly consistent income for your family, because that's important, right? You've got to have that so that you don't have to stress, right? What we typically see for our average student is that for every month that they're in business, they can add about $1,000 of monthly income to their business each month. So let's say you want to make about $2,000 per month. I would expect it to take you approximately 2 months or so to get there. So, for example, right now, if I started today, if you guys started the academy today, then by mid-March, you could potentially be making $2,000 per month already in reoccurring revenue. Second goal, let's say you want to make $5,000, that'd be about 5 months. So summertime, by June, by mid-June, you'd be able to make that kind of money. So I don't know what that would do for your family, but it sounds to me like for most of you, it'd be pretty life-changing to be able to make $5,000 a month with your bookkeeping business and not have to work your job anymore by the time the kids are out of school, right? Or by the time you want to go on a trip or a vacation. So also during tax season, we see our students achieve these goals and these milestones faster because there are more clients actively out there looking for bookkeeping help. Because in case you don't know this, you can't file your taxes as a business owner unless your bookkeeping is done first. So if they try to go file their taxes, their tax person's going to say, you need to get your bookkeeping done. And then they'll need to get that done first. And so a lot of times they're scrambling, looking for bookkeeping services during tax season so that they can get it done. So we see our students get clients even faster during that time. And tax season just started about 10 days ago, and it's going to go through mid-April. Sometimes it bleeds off into May for people that are doing extensions as well. So it's a really good time to get started right now because it's going to be potentially even quicker for you to reach these milestones. Now, I want to share with you guys a few variables that come into play with this chart. So this chart here shows our average student. Our average student works full-time and has little kids at home. So they don't have a lot of extra time to work on their business. And if you can spend anywhere from 30, 60 to maybe 2 hours a day, 30 minutes to 60 minutes minimum, up to 2 hours a day, consistently on your business, maybe Monday through Friday or at least 5 days of the week, you can hit these milestones. So if you have more time available, maybe you don't have little kids at home and maybe you can spend a solid 2 to 3 hours a day or something like that working on this, or all day on Saturday, something like that, you could potentially reach these results faster. So it's all about how much time that you're available to put into this. So if you have less time, it might make you take you a little bit longer, right? That example that I was telling about Jara, she said it took her about 3 months to land her first client. She's homeschooling 4 kids and she just worked at her own pace. The cool thing with the Bookkeeper Academy, when you get in, we are going to try to understand all of your goals so we can help you reach those goals on your timeline. So you'll be telling us, what do you want to accomplish in the first 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? And we're going to help make sure that you're doing the things that are going to help you reach these milestones. The other thing that will have an impact on these results is your mindset. So like we talked about at the beginning, if you are the type of person that has a lot of limiting beliefs and doubts yourself, or needs to work on mindset, then that's going to be something that may slow you down if you let it. So we'll be working with you more on mindset maybe, and less with marketing in the beginning. So if you come into our program and you take action right away, and you don't let anything stop you from actually following the steps, these are the results that you can get and can achieve. So what I like for people to do when they join the academy is make sure you have this chart, up on your screen or printed next to your desk, and evaluate yourself. Don't compare yourself with others, but am I hitting these targets? And if you're not, we're going to help you. Why is that? Should we pivot, change what you're doing? Refocus, recenter on something. So this is the goal. This is the chart that we're working towards. So anytime you're straying from that, then we'll have conversations, discussions, phone calls with you. What can we do to help you get back on track to this exact roadmap right here? So if you take a look at this, let's say you get into the academy and you are hitting these milestones right away. You invest the $640 down payment to get started, and then you've got the $640 fee for the academy. But within 2 months, you hit $2,000 in reoccurring bookkeeping income. Obviously, you can see that just within a couple of months' time span, you've tripled the amount that you're investing. So all that extra cash is just going to be able to go straight into your personal account that you can utilize for your family's finances, right? So this is a timeline. I love sharing this so you guys kind of have an idea of what to expect. Again, this is just for monthly bookkeeping fees that you're going to charge your clients. So I'm going to show you other ways where you can actually make even more money that doesn't have to do with this. So stick around for that. Raina says, if we start with the academy, do we look for our own clients or do we get help landing those clients? So we show you exactly how to get your own clients, and I'm going to go through all of that here shortly, but we also do have a program that you can add on or bundle with the academy called Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers. And it's a new program where I'm actually doing the marketing for our students. It kickstarted January 1st. We have about 50 students that are in that program, and we're going to be giving them clients. So that's something that you could bundle as well. And if you're interested in learning more about that, when Sean, my husband, texts you with questions, you can talk to him about that as well. And if you want to bundle that in to the loan, you can. It does make your loan amount change to $800 a month instead of $640 if you want to do both programs. So great question, Raina, but I'm also going to go into detail on what marketing we're going to be teaching you as well, and why we teach marketing here in a couple more slides. So I want to share with you guys, and speaking of marketing, how many clients are you going to actually need to find to hit these revenue milestones? So, when you're looking to make money in your bookkeeping business, you need to do that because you need to sign clients on and be performing bookkeeping services for them, right? But how many do you need? So, this chart here is going to show you the approximate number of super small clients that you would need to hit these different milestones in your business. So, for example, for me, I knew I needed to make $2,000 a month as my first bare minimum goal, right? Because I worked in a CPA firm and I did all the bookkeeping in the CPA firm, I saw what my boss charged these clients. And so I knew that if I stepped out and did my own business and I wanted to make $2,000 a month, I'd only need to find 4 businesses to be able to hit that milestone. So he charged approximately 500 bucks a month for these super small clients. So I knew that I'd only need 4 of them. So this is assuming that every client you get is rather small. It's a range. A lot of our students get clients that pay larger fees. So in that instance, you would need less clients, right? So for example, Kim got a new client last December, and this one paid her $21.97 per month. So instead of 4 clients at that first milestone, she only needed one. And when I had my bookkeeping business and I was making about $20,000 per month in my business, I only had about 33 clients instead of the 40 that are listed here, just so you can get a feel for what the typical range is. So I'd love for you guys to look at this chart, and then I want you to type in the chat how many clients you need to hit your very first goal, your bare minimum goal that we set, goal number 1. Type in the chat how many clients you need. For me, it was 2,000, so I needed 4. How many do you guys need? All right, keep typing those in here. I want to show you guys what the potential client pool looks like and how doable it is to actually find those clients, assuming you know how to do marketing, right? So this chart here shows you the number of small businesses that were active in the US from 2017 through 2022. I need to update this now that we're in the 2024 year, but this just goes to show you there were 33.2 million businesses in existence in 2022. Million. And as you can see from this chart, every single year it's growing. In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses starting up every single month. And there are bookkeepers and CPAs retiring in droves with no one to replace them because there's been a huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees because of the low pay and long hours during tax season. So clients are literally everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you. Tons of fish in the sea, and there's never going to be enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. And I am trying by teaching other people how to do this, but there's never going to be enough. The other cool thing is it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase, like leggings or, face cream or Mary Kay or something like that. These business owners, they already know they need bookkeeping. They're already convinced of the value. So finding clients, but then also getting them to say, yes, I want to pay you for bookkeeping services. That is really relatively easy. Of course, I'm going to show you all about that on an upcoming slide as well. But I want you guys to look at this chart and tell me, assuming you know how to do marketing, which I'm going to teach you, do you feel like it's doable based on the potential client pool to get the number of clients that you need to reach your first goal? Type a yes in the chat if you feel like, yeah, it's definitely doable. Once I learn how to do marketing, I don't think I'll have any problems hitting the goal that I have. Awesome. Fantastic. So the next slide of the presentation is my favorite one, especially if you are here because you are looking to buy your time back, right? This chart is going to show you the expected time commitment that you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for these clients at various monthly income levels. So for your first goal of $2,000, you only have to work 4 hours per week to complete all of the bookkeeping work for those clients. Isn't that incredible? The reason I knew this to be true was because I worked in the CPA firm, right? I was the bookkeeper. I saw what my boss charged. So I knew I'd only need 4 clients, but I also knew how many hours per week it took me to get the bookkeeping work done for these clients. It was so minimal. So I knew if I quit my job and I got 4 clients and I started making $2,000 a month, I would only have to work 4 hours a week instead of the 40 I was currently putting in, which would have given me 36 hours per week that I could go spend time with my daughter. So do you guys see why this was a no-brainer for me to start my own business? And this is why I feel like it's a no-brainer for you guys to hop into the Bookkeeper Academy so we can help you accomplish this as well. So I want you guys to do a little bit of quick math here. And this is the only math that you really have to do with bookkeeping. You don't have to be a math whiz to be really good at bookkeeping. It's all about organization. Yes, there's numbers, but it's mostly organizing data. And if you use the numbers and you need to do math, you can always use the built-in calculators right within QuickBooks. So don't worry about that. But I want you guys to do a little bit of math real quick, and I want you to calculate up, just like I did, how many hours per week would you save if you worked as a bookkeeping business owner instead of as the employee that you are right now at your current job? So type in the chat, how many hours per week would you save? Again, for me, it was 36 hours a week. So what would that be for you? Wow, Tammy would save an entire full-time job. She said she'd save 40 hours. That's incredible. 34-hour savings. Love that. Very cool. Keep typing that in the chat, guys. So I want you guys to also just imagine that. Imagine for a minute if you had all that time back, 40 hours, 34 hours, 30 hours, 36 hours, whatever it is for you. What would you do with all that time, right? We all know what we would do if we had that time. Spend it with family, right? Or pick up a hobby or be able to travel, enjoy life more, relax. I've been learning how to play the drums, anything that you want to do. You could also take some of that time and reinvest it back into your business so you can get to your financial goal 2, financial goal 3, right? There's lots of different things you can do with your time, and you can even change it up. Maybe one month you just want to be like, this is great. I could quit my job. I can get all my bookkeeping work done in like 5 hours. I'm going to spend the rest of the time hanging out with my family. But then maybe the next month you're like, I'm going to allocate maybe 5 or 10 hours more per week or per month to marketing and getting some more clients. So maybe you decide to do that one month. And it's great because you can choose and it can change. You don't have to be locked into anything, which is awesome. But even if you look at this chart, look down at your WOW goal. If your WOW goal was like mine, $10,000 a month, that's only 20 hours per week. So even if you're willing to work part-time, half of a full-time schedule, you can make more money than you've ever thought about making in your bookkeeping business and have such a low overall time commitment to be able to do this. So it's really awesome. And like I mentioned, even better, you can work these hours whenever and however you choose. You can work in the morning. I have some students that used to get up at like 4 a.m. and they would work from like 4 to 8 before their kids woke up. They would get like almost all their work done. I'm not a morning person. I can't do that. Some people can though, and so you can do it that way, or you can work late at night when they go to bed. You can work on the weekends. You can work while they're in school. You can get a sitter for like 3 hours a day and just work during those times. It is so flexible. It's completely up to you, and you can change it every single week if you want. It's awesome. So here is a overview of everything we talked about. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this or something, you're welcome to do so. This is average results it takes to hit the monthly income marks. for, potentially for an average student. This is kind of the cheat sheet we go to measure success in our academy, are helping you guys measure your own success, right? Because everybody's different. Everybody has different goals, and this can actually be adjusted depending on your goals. Maybe you want to change it to where you're making, $3,000 in 2 months and $10,000 in 8 months or something. You can have your own goals. And then the third column is total number of hours per week it takes to do the bookkeeping work at these various levels. And then the last column, again, the number of super small clients that you would need to hit these various levels. So does anybody feel at this point like this sounds amazing, but is this too good to be true? What's the catch? I don't understand why it could work out this way, how you can make this much money. So is anybody feeling that way? Want to explain to you guys how this high money, low time business thing works, but I'm curious if anybody is, feeling that way at this point. So type a yes in the chat if you are. Sarah says it's definitely shocking. Yeah, I know. I know. It is shocking. And we've all been groomed and we've been taught how to get jobs and how to be employees, right? We've all been taught that. That's what we go to school for. We go to school to learn how to get a job, how to be an employee. Not very many of us go to school to learn how to be a business owner, right? So this is typically a different way of thinking for a lot of people because they're not used to this. Michelle says, I want this so bad. I want this so bad for you too, Michelle. I want this so bad for all of you guys because this is so easy for each and every one of you to accomplish. And it's just getting out of your own way. That is the only roadblock you are ever going to have with starting your business. So that's working with thousands of students. The only time that I ever see people not having success is because they are in their own way and they won't utilize the support. That's it. There are so many clients out there. There is literally no way to fail at this unless you just don't do it. So I want this for you so bad. And I want you guys to all understand that you guys can, each and every one of you on this call can accomplish this. So Tammy says, oh, I barely see my family with the hours I work now. This would be so incredible for me. Yes. And I want this so bad for you too, Sarah. I know it would be incredible for you. It's going to be incredible for you, right? And the only thing that makes this seem too good to be true is because you guys are so used to looking at things from an employee perspective. And we're going to show you how to look at it from a business owner perspective instead. So the first two things I'm going to talk about on the next slide are technically, how does this work? How do you make $100 per hour? And I'm going to talk about that. There's two reasons how this works. And then there's two more reasons of why do we set it up this way and why is this possible? And those all have to do with like learning how to be a business owner and learning how to think like that. Because one thing I want you guys to think about as I'm explaining this is right now your boss is paying you, right? But your boss has extra money left over from paying you to pay himself, right? So he has to be able to make sure he is charging his customers correctly and having you do the work correctly so that there is leftover profit for him, right? So this is what we're going to teach you guys to do in your bookkeeping business. Do you teach and help with tax time as well or with an LLC and things like that? Yes. Raina, everything. We help with all of that. So there is not a single thing that is left out with the Bookkeeper Academy. It is holistic. We teach everything that you need to know about business, what you're going to need to be successful. That comes with, mindset, setting boundaries, talking with clients, marketing, actually physically setting up your business and having all the programs that you need ready. It's literally everything. So it all is necessary to be successful. So we help with all of it. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on that too. But like I mentioned, there are a few key pillars that make these results that I've been sharing with you guys possible. And the first and most important thing is understanding how to do proper quoting and knowing what to charge your potential bookkeeping clients. So this is one of the first things that we're going to teach you guys and help you guys master is understanding what to charge. So think about it. If your boss didn't charge his clients correctly, he wouldn't be making enough money to pay you and pay him, right? And pay all the other expenses that he might have in his business. So understanding how to properly quote and charge for bookkeeping services is one of the main things that we focus on in our academy as well. And we do this by putting all of your clients in a fixed monthly fee. So as you even get faster and faster over time, like I mentioned, one of our coaches, she makes well over $100 an hour because she's gotten even more efficient than what we have taught her. And her clients don't necessarily know that because they pay a fixed monthly fee to her. And so we help you determine what that fixed monthly fee is based on a series of questions that you're going to ask them. We give you a script when you have somebody that is interested in bookkeeping services, so you know exactly what questions to ask them. And then from there, we help you put together a quote. These questions are based on how big the business is, what's their annual revenue. That way we know how much work's going to be involved, but we also know they can afford these monthly fees easily. And then we also find out what industry they're in. Some industries require more thought or more effort and more time than others. And then how organized are they? Do they have 50 accounts or two? Are they mixing their personal and business expenses, or are they keeping it separate? So those are all factors that we work into. That way we know how to quote. When you're in our Bookkeeper Academy, you get access to our proprietary quoting tool. So you'll be able to input all of the answers you get from your clients into the quoting tool, and then it tells you a price. But then also too, we go over those with you on our Zoom calls and in our program. So that way, if you want another eye on the quote, we'll say, yeah, I think this is right. Or, hey, maybe you should charge a little more because of this. So for example, we have a student named Sylvia who she had like 4 or 5 clients, but then she got a new client in the construction industry. And this particular client had a list of a few extra things that he was looking for in addition to just basic bookkeeping. So she went through the quoting tool. The quoting tool told her $500 a month. So, because of these extra things, she wanted to get feedback from our team. So she hopped on a Zoom call and she told Vanessa about it, told her all the things that the client was looking for. And Vanessa said, having had experience with a client similar to this, she said, I would probably charge closer to $1,000 a month based on the criteria of what they're looking for. And so Sylvia went back to her client, proposed $1,000 a month, and they said yes. So with that one interaction from our team, she's making an additional $500 a month than what she potentially would have on her own. So that's $6,000 in a year time span. And if she has this client, let's say for 5 years, because a lot of times they do stay with you for a very long time, that's a $30,000 increase over what she thought she was going to charge just by having one quick meeting with our team, right? So this can have a drastic effect too on her overall results, right? Because the work is going to be the same either way because she's committing to doing this work for him. But if you are going to be doing the work and you're charging $500 versus $1,000, right? That is going to drastically change your overall hourly rate that you're getting for these bookkeeping clients. So making sure you don't underquote is really, really important. And we help you guys learn how to do that and over time develop some expertise around this. So that's the first thing. You got to quote correctly. Okay, that's the one thing. And then from there, like I kind of mentioned, doing the work in an efficient way is really important as well. So what we do in our academy is show you how to streamline the bookkeeping work so you can zoom through it. We even show you how to leverage automations and AI within QuickBooks Online so you can have the program doing some of the work for you. but then also creating boundaries around what you've promised to do for your clients. So that way, over time, if they ask you to do, more things, or they want to basically upgrade services, you'll know how to have conversations with your clients that way. So that way you can increase your fee to cover these additional things instead of just doing it anyway for free and then making less per hour since they're paying you in a fixed price, right? So, proper quoting and efficient workflow for yourself, those are the two main things that make it possible for you guys to actually make $100 an hour or more doing the bookkeeping services. So, learning how to do those two things right off the bat are going to be really important. And those are the kinds of things that your bosses do, the owners of the companies that you guys work for. These are the first two things that they had to figure out when they started their businesses. How can I quote and how can I get the work done to where I'm making a very high profit after that? And then that way, you're going to be building the business also forward thinking. So, for example, there's things that you're going to want to know or that you're going to wish you would have known 3, 5, 10 years down the line with your business, maybe even 1 year down the line, that you're not going to think about when you first get started. But in our Bookkeeper Academy, we're going to help you build your business right from day one with these things in mind, even though you don't even know that you're thinking about them yet. So, for example, we want to make sure that you're quoting correctly, you're doing the work correctly. So that way, later, if like your boss, you want to hire employees to work for you, you're still going to have money left over after you pay them. So we want you guys to be profitable if you decide to hire employees. And that may be something you're not even thinking about yet, but I will tell you, a lot of people in our academy, they start thinking about this sometimes as early as 6 months in to their business because they're growing so fast. So, this is something that you might want to do. If you don't want to do it or you decide not to do that, that's okay. You still want to get all of these things in place so that you can have that extreme profit in your business. But then later, if you do decide to hire somebody, you're going to be able to pay them a really great wage and still have a lot of extra money left over for you and your family, because that's why you're starting this business, right? You need to have more disposable income for your family and freedom, time freedom. Can't have that without money. So, we want you to be able to still have a profitable business even after you start building a team. So, I want you guys to take a look at this chart that we were just looking at. If you scroll down to the bottom and you look at the 40 hours, let's say you want to work 40 hours a week in your bookkeeping business. You can grow your business up to where you're making $20,000 per month, and you'll work about 40 hours a week to do all of the bookkeeping work for those clients. But now, let's say you want to, instead of you doing the work, you want to hire somebody to work full time for you. So they're going to come in, they're going to work 40 hours a week, and they're going to handle all of the bookkeeping for your clients that total $20,000 per month. Now, the going rate for a full-time bookkeeper is anywhere from like $3,000 a month to $4,500 a month for an experienced one, somewhere along that range. That's typically what we see when we see people leaving their bookkeeping jobs and joining the academy. We see that they're leaving jobs where they're making anywhere from $3,000 to, on the high end, $4,500 a month. But let's say you want to be an awesome boss and you want to pay really well. So you're going to pay them $5,000 a month. I'm doing this mostly for round numbers because I hate doing mental math. So let's say you pay them $5,000 a month, but you're making $20,000 a month. They're handling all the bookkeeping work. You're just overseeing things, right? So that's still going to give you a $15,000 monthly profit after paying your team member, and they're going to be doing the majority of the work. So we want to make sure that things are structured this way. So that way, as you guys keep scaling and you hire people, you're still going to have this really healthy profit margin that you can bring in all this monthly income to your family and still be able to maintain the schedule and work-life balance that you desire. This is what your boss is doing right now. This is how he is thinking or she is thinking to be able to achieve this for themselves. So we want you guys to be able to do this, right? And then the next thing that we're also working on too is helping you guys build this business from day one with the end in mind in case you ever want to sell it. These businesses are incredible retirement plans. So even if you don't, put money into a 401k or the stock market or whatever, even if you don't have a retirement, this business can be your retirement plan. So we want to help you build it right from day one so that you can roll this business right into your retirement later. So if you set them up the way we teach you in the academy, you can get anywhere from like 1 to 2 times annual revenue as a selling price for your business. Even more than that if you grow them really big. But for example, let's say you have a business where you grew it like mine, you're making $200,000 per year. You can actually sell that business for $200,000, which is awesome. And as the businesses get bigger, the multiple gets bigger. So let's say you grow your business over 4 or 5 years, and now you're making $1 million a year. You could actually potentially sell your business for 2 million, which is great. The multiple goes up as they get bigger. Now, these businesses are really attractive to potential buyers or investors, and it's because of a few key factors. Number one, the consistent, dependable, reoccurring monthly income, like I talked about on that first chart. Also, the high profit margin after building a team, like I just showed you. And the third reason is as you start growing and building your team, we can help work with you to kind of pull yourself out of the operation. So that way, if you do want to sell it and someone wants to come in and buy your business and be the new owner, they can easily phase you out and the business will keep on running. And that's what a buyer or an investor is going to want in a business. And they love it. They love these. I always get emails from people saying, hey, do you know of any accounting businesses for sale? So investors are looking for these all the time. So we want to help you start your business right from day one. So you don't have to change up anything when you want to start working towards these goals, either hiring employees or potentially selling your business. So that's why we're going to teach you this. And until you have employees or until you get to the point where you want to sell it, you just get to benefit from all of this additional profit. You get to be the employee and the boss. Okay. So that's why you're going to be making so much more money. Is this making sense to you guys? Do you understand why this works, why you can get these results? And maybe you understand a little bit more now about why your boss or the owner of the company that you're working for did this and why they jumped out to start their own business. So Michelle, if you're still on here, we'll reach out to everybody after this call. So if you missed any of this, we'll text you the link to the replay, but also be able to hop on the phone and answer any questions that you have too. Awesome. So thank you guys for commenting. Yes, I'm glad you guys are understanding this a little bit more. It's making sense because this really is what it's like to just own a business, right? Now, I want to talk about something else that I haven't even dug into yet, and this is called backwork and cleanup opportunities. This is one of the reasons why I like bookkeeping businesses the best out of anything you could possibly do. And this is one of the reasons. So when you get a new client or you find somebody that's looking towards you to help them with bookkeeping, 9 times out of 10, when you get this new client, it's because they haven't done their bookkeeping for months or even years in the past. And that's why they're looking for bookkeeping services. So the cool thing about that is this is another income opportunity that you have. It's just a little harder to predict. So I didn't want to include it on the slide showing your reoccurring income potential, but I want to show you some examples of what you can get, what you can accomplish when you get a new client and you get a cleanup job. So when you get new clients, it comes with the monthly fee, but a lot of times it comes with what I like to call a Christmas bonus because they're going to be behind and you're going to go back and do that back work and you'll get to charge them for it. So take a look at this. Here's some examples. This is Kim. She joined our academy in October of 2022. And it only took her about 6 weeks to land this first client. It was the bigger one, so she charged $21.97 per month, but, we helped her as we helped her start doing the bookkeeping for this client. They had already had a bookkeeper, but we helped her realize, "Ooh, that bookkeeper didn't do the last, previous months correctly." So we helped her put together a cleanup quote, and she was able to go back to her client a couple weeks later and say, "Hey, we need to get this cleaned up, and it's gonna cost about $9,000 for me to go back and do it." The client agreed to it because he was a larger company, a $5 million company. He just needed this all to be taken care of, cleaned up, and perfected. So he was on board for it. So she was able to charge him that. So by her second month in business, she was actually able to make $11,000 in her second month and with this very first client. Now, this client was a bigger one, right? So it was a bigger fee. But it's very, very doable to get a client like this. And then when you make that kind of money in your business, let's say you make $11,000 in your second month, obviously you can take that, you can pay off your loan early, and that way you can avoid all of that interest. Or you can put that money into a savings account to cover all of your monthly expenses for the next few months. So you can go ahead and quit your job if that's your goal, and then open up all this extra time to be able to work on your business. Because if you stumble on a client like this, while you're working, while you have limited time, imagine what you can do and what you can stumble across if you have a ton more time to be able to work on it, right? It's incredible. So here's another example of Alicia. She joined our academy on November 18th of 2022, and it took her about 3 weeks to get everything set up and going. Her family was moving during this time, so they had a lot going on. But she decided to launch her marketing plan on December 11th, and on December 15th, only 4 days after starting her marketing, she landed her first client. And this was like a medium-sized client, paid her $1,500 per month, but they actually came with a $6,000 cleanup job. So within the first 4 weeks of starting her business, Alicia actually made $7,500. So I know I showed you guys, all of what you can make on monthly, consistent, reoccurring revenue, but you can also make tons of money by just doing cleanup jobs, which is really awesome. Now, Kim and Alicia, their cleanup jobs are pretty common. We see them anywhere from like $2,000 up to $10,000 per cleanup job. In fact, we had two people in December of 2023 that accomplished getting clients with $10,000 cleanup jobs, which is really exciting. And then also, you can get bigger ones too, which we don't really see that very often, but I got to show you this next example because it's interesting to see what the possibilities are out there of, potential clients you can stumble across in your marketing. So Jen here, she joined our program on August 12th, and she ended up stumbling across a $32,000 cleanup job. So about 4 months into joining the academy, she landed this client. It was her fifth client, and it was a larger one, $21.97 monthly, but like I mentioned, came with a $32,000 cleanup job. Now, I interviewed her on my podcast, and she told us that she actually broke that payment out over 4 months. So she said they paid a little bit, she did some work, they paid more, she did some work, they paid more, she did some work, and so on. So she collected all of that over a series of about 4 months. But really incredible. I just want to show you guys what the potential is out there that you can get. And the funny thing too is, if you guys watch Jen's podcast interview, the first couple of months in our academy, Jen was working on her mindset. She wasn't even working on her marketing. So she was lacking confidence. She was worried about, is this right for me? Maybe I made a mistake about starting my business. I don't know if I'm going to have results with this. So we worked on mindset with her. And we helped her understand that she can accomplish this. She is good enough to do this. She can learn it. It's not hard. And then all of a sudden, she just decided to take a risk and follow our program. And then boom, a couple months later, she was already making about $4,000 a month, and she got this big cleanup job, which is really, really cool. So like I mentioned, the cleanup jobs average between like $2,000 and $10,000, but on occasion, we do see some big ones like this. So here's a little recap of the ladies that I just talked about. Out of these three ladies, Kim actually did have an accounting degree, although she wasn't utilizing it in her current job and had never done bookkeeping before or had never used QuickBooks before. And Alicia and Jen didn't have any experience or education in this area either. So I just want to show you guys when these ladies got these potential clients, we helped them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid and all the steps that come after. So you're never alone when you're building this business. So I'm going to go into detail on this later, but I just want to highlight really quickly how we help them achieve these results. So the first thing is we help them understand how to conduct a client discovery call so they know how to ask all the right questions. And we give you guys a script for that as well. And then from there, we help them put together a proper quote based on the information that they were able to gather during the discovery call. And then we show you how to put together a proposal to the client and be able to explain the value to them so that they say yes. And then once your client says yes, then we show you how to onboard them, how to collect payment, that kinds of things. And then from there, once you have them fully onboarded, you've got access to everything that you need. We then show you how to complete the cleanup job, how to structure it into a manageable step-by-step process. And then from there, once the cleanup job is done, how to do the ongoing monthly bookkeeping work. So we help you guys with every single one of those steps. So, in the beginning, you're not going to know how to do any of this, but we're going to help you learn it with your paying clients. And this is why you can make money right away in the academy, because you're going to get the client first, and then we're going to show you how to do it while you're making money and be able to impress this client. So then this client will start referring people to you as well. But in addition to all of that, the most important thing that we taught these ladies out of everything that we taught them is how to find these clients as well. And obviously, you guys probably know that is called marketing, right? So I'm very passionate about teaching you guys how to do your own marketing, because if you can learn this, you will always and forever have control of the money coming into your life and your family for the rest of your life. Marketing is very important to learn. And it's great. The way we do this is very easy. And usually our students only spend about an hour a day on their marketing. The more you can do, the better. And if you can stay consistent with it every single day, do a little bit of marketing every day, that's going to compound over time. So it doesn't take a ton of time to do it, but we do want you to be consistent. And the more that you can put into it, the quicker you're going to get the results. Now, there are three main methods that we teach our students to get clients. All three methods have been proven to get our students from 0 to 100K per year in their business within the first 12 months. And so that means you can do them all, but you don't have to. If you don't like one of them, you can still reach that goal, even if you just pick one. Obviously, we recommend doing all of them because you'll get to your goals faster. But I'm going to go over these right now. So let me know if you guys have any questions yet, or if you have any questions specifically about the marketing, drop those in the chat. So the first method that we teach is organic social media marketing. We help you utilize the platforms that you are already familiar with to find and connect with business owners. How can you utilize Facebook, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Instagram, whatever it is that you're using? How can you use it like a business owner? And then we also show you how to post content that will actually get business owners interested in reaching out to you. We're attracting them to reach out to you. So you don't have to do, cold spamming people and things like that. And then that's going to help with getting the business owners interested in scheduling a discovery call and hopping on a call with you to go through that script and learn about bookkeeping services. So that way you can then give them a quote. So that's what that's all about. Like I mentioned, you don't have to cold message people, although in our field, in the bookkeeping field, it is perfectly fine to do that. We actually had, for example, a girl named Elena in our academy, and she knew about 11 different business owners she was already connected with on Instagram. So she sent them a quick and easy message that said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I have a bookkeeping business. If you need anything or you have any questions when it comes to bookkeeping, let me know. I'm happy to be a trusted resource for you." Three of those people ended up booking calls with her. So it probably took her 5 minutes to send out those 11 messages, and she got three discovery calls booked. So that can also work really well. But the whole rest of this strategy really doesn't cost anything. We have a social media marketing workshop that we are running in the Bookkeeper Academy as well, where we're going to help you actually schedule out every single post for 365 days and be able to know exactly what content to post out there as well. So this can be completely free, but we do have a couple programs if you do want to schedule things out, like sit down, get it all done, and then schedule it out that you can utilize. One of them costs about $100 a month if you want to use it, or you can just upload the stuff easily once a day and do it that way too. So if you're wanting to try to grow your business on a very slim marketing budget, this one can cost nothing, which is awesome. This is also where I know Kim, Alicia, and Jen got all those big cleanup jobs utilizing social media marketing. So it's a really popular free way of getting clients. The second marketing option that we have for students is joining networking groups. We show you how to find virtual or in-person networking groups that you can join. And this is where other business owners are hanging out. So we want you to be around other business owners, right? And we're going to help you create a strategy when attending these groups so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time and how to actually get clients from these groups. And then we're also going to show you not only how to get referrals from the group, but create referral partnerships in the group. So that way, other members of the group are actually going to be doing some marketing for you, and they will start referring their clients to you for bookkeeping as well, and sometimes even their family and friends. So some of these groups are free, but the really good ones do have a marketing investment. So for example, I joined an industry exclusive group where I was the only bookkeeper allowed in the group, and that cost about $500 for an annual membership, but I made over $60,000 in my first year of being a member of that group, which is incredible. So, and then also, whoops, go back to that. This was also great for me too, because it turned into a little family for me. I looked forward to going once a week. It helped, get out of the house. If you're going to be working at home all the time, sometimes you need to just get out of the house. But it's also great for introverts because a lot of these groups are very small. And not only do you get to meet everybody on a one-on-one level, but they also help you do your marketing. So if you're an introvert and you don't like to do marketing, they help you with that. So these groups are really great. The next thing is we also do email marketing, and this is really popular. This is working really well for our students too. And how we help with that is the first step is we show you how to gather large lists of business owners and large lists of tax offices. And then from here, you have lists of people, lists of email addresses, and we show you how to set up and deploy email campaigns to the business owners and to the tax offices separately. Now, for the business owners, we're going to help you get new clients, right? They're going to be new clients. But for the tax offices, we're going to show you how to create a partnership with the tax office so that they will refer clients to you. So, in case you don't remember from the beginning, every single business owner has to have their bookkeeping done in order to file their taxes. So, a lot of times, tax people get really bogged down during tax season. They're swamped, but they can't do the tax return if the books aren't done. So they usually partner with a handful of bookkeepers to refer out the bookkeeping work to, so that you guys can do the bookkeeping and then give it back to the tax person, and the tax person will then handle it from there, which is really awesome. So If you can create a couple of strategic relationships with these tax offices, then they'll send you clients for years to come. So we help you structure that relationship and learn how to get in good with some tax offices. Now, this can also be a $0 manual effort for your marketing and investment. There could be $0. You just have to do everything manually. But we do have some programs that you use. A lot of them are around $50 a month, and where there's 2 or 3 of them that we suggest you use if you want to do this on a massive scale and get clients quickly. So it's totally optional. And these are like a monthly basis thing. So you can have them for 1 month, turn them off if you're not using it or whatever. So, but it's optional. So those are the 3 main methods that we teach in the Bookkeeper Academy to help our students get clients. And once you learn how to do this stuff, you're going to be able to utilize this anytime that you want to bring in a new client. So for example, I had this student named Robin. She was in our Bookkeeper Academy, but she lived in Alaska and she homeschooled her 5 kids. And one day she took them to the dentist for a general cleaning, and one of her daughters needed an $1,800 dental procedure. And she went home that night and she was like, I don't want to pay this. I don't have the money for this. I don't want to put it on a credit card. So what she decided to do, turn on her marketing. So she started to do her marketing. A couple days later, someone booked a call on her calendar. She gets on a call with them, gets access to his stuff, gives him a quote. It ends up being an $1,800 cleanup job. So she was able to utilize her marketing skills that she developed to manifest the exact amount of money she needed to pay for her daughter's dental procedure. So this is why I'm really passionate about helping you guys learn how to do marketing. Now, of course, if you want to be in our Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers program and bundle that in with your Bookkeeper Academy investment, you can do that. And I will actually get clients for you, but I still want you to learn how to do marketing, and I still want you to do the marketing yourself too. So I'm curious, I'm going to put some numbers on here. You guys tell me in the chat, which marketing method would you choose? Type a 1 for social media, 2 for networking groups, 3 for email marketing, or if you're going to do all of them, type a 4 for all of the above. What is it going to be for you guys? Michelle says 4. Love it. 4. 4 for Sarah. This is great. Yes, awesome. So like I mentioned, if you're willing to do all of them, you're just going to get to your goals faster, and that's awesome. So, but yes, and Sharonda says 1 and 3. So sometimes, when you're trying to work out getting out of your job, you might not be able to attend a networking group, right? So we'll just have to add that on later. Great. I love this. So would you guys like to see a little bit more details on exactly how we support our students to help them achieve these results and what you would have access to in the Bookkeeper Academy? Type a yes in the chat if you want to see what that looks like as a member of our Bookkeeper Academy. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. So we run some of our support out of a private members only Facebook group. You currently probably have access to our free Facebook group that's pictured here, but we actually have a smaller one called a Piece of Cake Support Group that we provide a lot of our support to our students out of this group. Right now, we have about 200 students that are in their first year of growing their bookkeeping business. It's really awesome to have a sense of community with others who are on your same journey in business, but also in life. When you become a business owner, you no longer have coworkers. So this is like having the world's best coworkers. And then also we have about 30 or so students that are in their second, third, and fourth years in our program. So you'll be able to collaborate with them, learn from them, see what worked for them. And sometimes they do some guest coaching as well. A lot of the people that I've been talking about on this presentation are still in our program, which is really great. And then we also have 8 to 10 different team members, coaches, mentors, and experts that are in our group that you're also going to have access to. And they're all experts in either growing a business, doing bookkeeping, marketing, mindset, quoting, sales, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have access to that entire slew of team members as well. Now, we don't treat the Facebook group like a typical Facebook group. We actually treat it like a ticketing system. So for every question that you post or submit, we answer all of them. And they can be related to any topic that you can think of. Some examples are sales, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping or tax questions, how to be efficient with your workflow questions, mindset, everything. So we help with everything, and nothing is off the board because this business is related to everything, right, in your life. Now, when we answer questions in there, when you post a question in there, we answer them 6 days a week. If you ask during these hours that I have listed on here, we have an average response time of 45 minutes on average per question. And actually, a lot of times it's less than that. On our last team meeting, it was 37 minutes of average response time. And if you do ask a question outside of this shift, we do answer it, but we answer it at the beginning of the next shift. So let's say you're working on Sunday and you have a question. We just encourage you go ahead and post it, because maybe some of the other students in there are working too and they can answer your question. But then on Monday morning, 8 a.m., we're going to follow up and answer your question too, just to make sure you got everything fully squared away and taken care of. So, but if you ask during these times and you get like a question answered in like 35 or 45 minutes, it's great, because that can give you a quick answer to what you need, what's keeping you stuck, and then it'll help you move on to the next best thing. So your business is going to be super efficient. You won't have to waste time Googling, watching a million YouTube videos, and then wondering, did this even answer my question? So you're going to be able to utilize us to teach you the things that you need. And of course, we track everything. So this is like an example of the tracking that we do, how many questions or tickets were asked, and then how quickly we responded and resolved everything. So we're tracking all of this. We're making sure you're getting your questions answered in lightning speed. And then in addition to that, we also have Zoom calls every single week, a ton of them. We are available over 70 hours a week for our students. So you can hop on these Zoom calls. This is our current schedule. It does change depending on the seasons sometimes, and how busy we are, how many members are hopping on these calls. So this is currently what we have, and is subject to change from time to time. Right now, Mondays and Fridays are kind of reserved these calls for a mindset. We do calls called Overcoming What's Blocking You, so you can start and end your week on a really awesome positive note. And then the rest of the calls are what we call office hours, and they are general Q&A. So you're going to be able to hop on these calls, listen to other people's questions, learn from them, and also ask your own questions. There's going to be a mixture of people on these calls, from maybe they joined yesterday or they've been in the program for 2.5 years. So there's going to be a lot of different types of questions that are asked on these calls, but we want questions from everyone. So even if you're brand new, your questions are welcome on the call. They are scheduled for 60 minutes, but a lot of times they last longer, just depending on the volume of questions and the number of people that attend. And while you're an active member of our academy, you're going to get access to all of the replays as well. You're also going to be able to communicate with our client success coach. And this person is going to help you one-on-one over email, texting, and the occasional phone call if you need to talk through something. Typically, that's specifically mindset issues and getting people going and moving forward, but she's available to hop on if you're ever stuck on anything. Then from here too, she's going to learn about your goals, and that way she can give you a step-by-step process. So every day you should know exactly what you need to do to move the needle in your business and to start reaching your family's goals. And this is also going to help her hold you accountable to your own goals as well. And then if you have questions or you are stuck on anything, maybe there's a video that explains everything that you're looking for. She's going to be able to direct you to the quickest and best support option, depending on what your question is or where you're stuck in the process. Obviously, she's super supportive and motivational as well. And specifically, Christy is who does the client success coaching right now. She's a former student. She has a psychology degree, but she left a corporate IT job when she started her bookkeeping business and it started growing. She left that job. Since then, she's been able to continue growing her business. She retired her husband, and now her husband stays home, homeschools their 4 kids, and she asked to come back to work in the academy full time while her bookkeeping business is still going because she wanted to help and inspire other people to have the same success. So you get to work directly with her in a one-on-one capacity as well, which is great. And like I mentioned, if you ever need to watch any additional trainings, she'll show you exactly where to find it because you're going to have access to all the coursework you could ever possibly need to be successful in a bookkeeping business. Now, we don't want you to watch all of this before you start getting clients because that would take you forever. That would be a waste of your time. But you're going to have access to most of this coursework for life. So over the course of your business and as you're growing and learning things, we'll direct you to where you need to find this information. So that way, if that, need arises, you'll be able to watch the exact video that's important to you. So type a thumbs up or what do you guys think about this in the chat about the support that we offer. I'm going to go over really quick what the typical journey looks like should you decide to enroll, like let's say today. I'll show you what that journey looks like too, but I would love for you guys to know, what do you think about the support? Is it awesome? Thumbs up, yes, heck yeah, I can't wait to join. What do you guys think? Okay, so while you're doing that, a typical journey in the Bookkeeper Academy, when someone joins in the first couple of weeks, they're going to go through how to set up their business back office, get physically ready for clients, their bank account, their email address, things like that. We walk you through how to do all of that. Then from there, you're going to learn the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership through a series of trainings. And then after that, we'll send you through a series of trainings that show you how to provide amazing service to your clients. This will actually walk you through a full year of doing bookkeeping so you can see the whole process from start to finish. And then from here, you'll understand what the day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year looks like as a bookkeeper. So that way it'll give you enough information that you'll be able to easily communicate intelligently with a potential client who's interested in bookkeeping services. So you'll feel, somewhat comfortable about talking about bookkeeping. You won't feel comfortable enough that you could answer every single question they could possibly ask you, but you'll be comfortable enough to be able to sign them as a client. And we'll even show you how to conduct that potential client discovery call, give you that script so you can learn about how that call is going to go when you have somebody that is interested. So then after that, all of that only takes a couple of weeks, assuming you have about 2 hours a day-ish that you could work on it. Or, you spend a whole Saturday, banging away through some of this stuff. So then after that, usually what we see in the last half of the first month, so week 3 and 4, this is where you're deciding which one of those things do we want to do for marketing. Let's lay out a plan, let's develop this, and then let's get it started. And so as you're starting it, you may run into some things. Ooh, this didn't work like I thought. Ooh, Facebook updated something. How do I navigate this? So we're going to help you with support and feedback from our group calls, from our ticketing system in our Facebook group, to help you be able to really fine tune and solidify your marketing as you're getting it going so you can find your first few clients. And usually all of this is accomplished within the first month or so or less of being in the academy. And then from there, usually in month 2 is where we see our students really start to enroll their first few clients. Now, it can happen quicker than that. It can happen slower than that. So it's different for everybody. It depends on how much time you can put into it right out of the gate and what things you specifically want to work on. But on average, we see them, our students enrolling their first few clients in the second month. Then from here, this is where we help you with the cleanup job. We show you how to do the onboarding and doing the work and really understanding how to get that client squared away. You're going to do a lot of learning on this part, and that builds your confidence as you go through this first couple of clients. It'll build your confidence with bookkeeping. So then in month 3 through 12, it's basically rinsing and repeating. So from here, you're going to continue onboarding and we're going to keep supporting you while you're working with new clients. And over time, we're going to support you until you become an expert bookkeeper. From here, we're going to provide the safety net for you so that you can say yes to every client and get exposure to working with clients from all different industries. So that way, anytime in the future, if you get a client, you'll be able to feel comfortable saying yes to them, even if they're in an industry that you haven't worked in yet. Then we're also going to help you throughout this entire year set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you the financial, location, and time freedom that you guys are all looking for. So, any questions on that? Type those in the chat. Any questions on anything I covered here? Type it in the chat. I'm happy, more than happy to go over in detail of anything. So really the next steps of this is going to be applying for our program by filling out this form that I'm going to share with you in the chat, and we can go from there. All right, so I'm going to share some stuff with you guys here in the chat. And you guys tell me, what is the next step for you? I'd love for you guys to know. We still have a lot of people on here, and I'm curious how you guys are thinking about all of this and what's going to be your next step to reaching your family's goals. Do you want to apply for funding? Do you want to attend the next webinar? Do you want to go ahead and get started? So let me know what you are thinking for yourself. Are you going to be talking to your significant other? Do you want my husband to give you a call and answer any questions that you have? So, okay, great. I'm getting some questions coming in. Love it. Sarah says, I have one question. You mentioned learning marketing skills, but you also mentioned getting clients for us also. What did you mean by getting clients for us? So I have a different program called Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers. And this is a new program. I am going through and doing marketing for you, and I'm bringing in clients, and I'm going to make this on a massive scale. I have 50 students in there right now. So it's my goal. I'm giving myself all year to get them a lead, but really I'm hoping that I can get all 50 of them a lead just during tax season so they can sign clients specifically just by being in our program. So if you want to add that on, it is, for full disclosure, the Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers program is a new program. It's a beta program. And eventually I'm hoping to make this part of the Bookkeeper Academy as it is. But right now we are testing. We're just doing testing. So I can give you guys information on the Sweet Leads program. We have had quite a few people bundle that in with their funding. So you can do that. It changes the total loan amount from $12,000 to $15,000. And then the monthly payments are $800 a month instead of $640 if you want to do that. And if you want to know all the details about that program, I can get you guys the link to register for that as well. So let me do that really quick too. Let's see. Let me put that here in the chat. So I got a bunch of links I'm dropping in here. I'm going to share what those are. The very first link is called US-based funding. So if you want to go through funding and you have the down payment available right now, either $640 for the Academy or $800 if you want to bundle the Academy and the Sweet Leads, you can click that link. And you're going to either apply for $12,000 if you just want to do the Academy, or $15,000 if you want to do both. And now the lender moves really, really fast. So when you fill that out, it's going to take about 5 minutes to fill out the form. Within a couple of hours, they're going to give you an email and a text message with next steps. They're going to expect you to book a call. And then on that call, they're going to expect you to give them the down payment. So I highly recommend applying for the US-based funding link if you have the down payment available, or if you are going to have it within the next, 5 to 7 days, go ahead and do that. If you don't quite have it yet, let us know, and then we'll get you that link as soon as you do have it. The second thing is, if you're in Canada, there is a separate link that you have to fill out for Canadians. They don't offer the guaranteed funding, so it is a traditional loan, and Canadian funding laws are a little bit more strict than the US. So it's hard to get approved, but if you have good credit, you can go ahead and try to do the Canadian-based funding link as well. Now, if you just want to get in the academy and you don't want to mess with funding, that third link there is a down payment of $3,000. We can onboard you in like the next 30 minutes and get you going. So you're able to pay that. Or if you want to just pay the whole $12,000 in full, you're able to click the pay in full link and do that right away as well. And then that bottom link there is the link to register for our Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers webinar. So if you guys want to learn all the details about that, it's only about 25 minutes long. So you can watch that and see if you want to bundle that program in as well. And even if you aren't sure, right now, the lender has been letting some of our students go back later and change their loan amount to include it. So if you want to go ahead and get the lending process going right now, you can, and then you can watch the Sweet Leads webinar later as well. So I'm going to go back up and answer some questions, and keep the questions coming, guys, because I see some really, really good ones in here. Therese says, I have about 7 years experience in accounting, and I have gone as far as to purchase my LLC, get my business license, open a business bank account and credit card, but I don't really know where to go from there. Yes, absolutely. So it sounds like, taking that next step and learning how to do the marketing, learning how to structure your business and quoting, learning how you're going to provide those actual services is going to be really beneficial. So Teray, we're going to walk you through all of that in the academy. Is it your intent or plan to join the academy? Because we can definitely help you with all of that. CC says, do you need a license to become a bookkeeper? So the only places in the entire world that require any type of certifications for you to be a bookkeeper is Australia and New Zealand. So if you do not live in those areas, you do not need any license, education, or certification to call yourself a bookkeeper and to be able to provide bookkeeping services. As a matter of fact, bookkeeping is kind of like a gateway drug, I always joke about, because it's the start of your business. You can do so many other things after you learn how to do bookkeeping. For example, I have students that go on to learn how to do taxes and CFO level work and invoicing and bill pay for their clients and all sorts of other things. And none of those things you have to have any kind of certifications or education in. Of course, you want to make sure you learn it to do a great job. And we have programs for all those other things too. So you'll be able to, do those things as well. Michelle says, I need to apply for funding. I'm hoping, I'm praying I'm approved. So everyone's approved, Michelle, and just everybody knows everybody's approved. So as long as you have the money for the down payment and you can figure out how to swing the monthly payment for a few months until clients start rolling in, you're approved. So don't apply thinking I'm going to apply to see if I'm approved. Apply because you are ready to go, because everyone's approved, everybody. So it's really awesome. So yes, if you go through funding, they will expect, Michelle, that you have the down payment ready to go that day. So when you apply, they're going to have you book a call with them. They're going to collect the payment on that first call. So you want to make sure you structure your call date with them for the day that you want to make that payment, because they're going to be expecting it. Great question. Bye, Kiara. Raina says, what's the difference again between the lending and the down payment of $3,000? So if you do the lending, you only have to put down the down payment of $640, and then you make the monthly payments of $640. Now, if you just keep making the monthly payments, you're going to have interest. So you'll want to try to pay it off early to avoid interest. If you make the down payment to the academy of $3,000, we give you 90 days of no payments. And that gives you time to build up some reoccurring revenue. And then month 4, $1,000 monthly payments will kick in for the remainder of the $9,000 balance that you would owe. So just kind of just depends. Some people like to go ahead and do that, put the $3,000 down, and then go ahead and just focus on getting their business off the ground. Because really, truly, if you put a $3,000 down payment on your credit card, your minimum payment on your credit card is probably going to be like $25. or $30 or something like that. So it can help you get started with even less money down if you do have a credit card that you could put that on, right? Because you won't necessarily have to pay it off right away. So some people like to do that because it gives them less that they have to come up with at the beginning. And it gives you some time to get some traction on your business too. Tammy says, what will we do payroll services, or is that not part of bookkeeping? If yes, is there training for that? Yes. So we show you how to offer payroll services, how to make money on that, and how to streamline it, but also how to offer payroll services where there is no liability on your back for it at all. So we use a partner program for that we have you sign up for, and then you get to offer those services to your clients, which is really awesome. And we support everything on that too. We have trainings on payroll, and we also answer questions and help you through that if there's anything that you need to know above and beyond our trainings. Great questions. You guys are full of a lot of great questions. I love it. I love it. What else can I answer? Is anybody planning on applying? If you decided to apply, or if you have decided to pay your down payment, put it in the chat so we can, encourage you. I'd love to know. Any other questions? We still have so many on here. I appreciate you guys all being on here, and I'm looking forward to having my husband reach out to you guys all this afternoon. If you don't get a text from him, watch your email and then respond to his text, or save his number or whatever in there, because sometimes they don't go through. But we would love to. We would love to chat with you guys. You may have answered this already, but if we weren't ready to commit now, does the price change, or can we use the links later? Yeah, you can save these links. I mean, nothing is ever set in stone. Our pricing could potentially change. And, the lender that is doing these loans for everybody, we have no control over them. They're a completely separate program or separate entity. So I imagine this is going to be around for a long time because it's working so well, and the lender's, obviously getting a lot of results from it. So, but I can't ever guarantee that will be around forever. But yes, you can bookmark those links and save them if, maybe in the next couple weeks or month is going to be better timing for you. But keep in mind that tax season is kicking off. So if you really want to get to these results, it's a really great time to get started now versus waiting, because you can get the results faster. And another thing to kind of keep in mind too is when you decide to start a business, you're going to start thinking about your time differently, and how time and money are related. So if you think about it, let's say you decide to wait 2 months, that those 2 months could potentially cost you like $2,000 or $3,000 just by waiting, because you could have had clients coming in that were paying you during those months, right? So every single month you put off is money that you're losing out on, right? So that's kind of how you look at it in a business. I feel this way now sometimes with the academy when I go on vacation, because I still do a lot of the marketing and my husband still does all the sales. And so if we go on vacation, we know it's not just going to cost us the vacation, it's actually going to also cost us the missed opportunity in the marketing and sales from us not taking action, right? So you have to consider those things too when you decide not to take action yet or to push it off. You are actually not just saying not yet, but you're saying no to some potential money that you could be making too. So food for thought, something to think about. All right, Sarah, I'm so excited. If your husband has any questions, wants to hop on this call or talk to my husband, you're welcome to have him do that. So when I first started my bookkeeping business, my husband was very skeptical. He wasn't sure that he actually, wanted me to do this and quit, because I quit my job before I started. A lot of you guys, a lot of our students, they start this in addition to their job, and they wait to quit until, they feel more comfortable. I didn't want to take on more work. I wanted to quit my job and then do this. So I kind of sort of had to convince my husband to do that. And he wasn't super open to it at the beginning, but obviously he has come around, and he's very supportive. But so if your husbands or your significant others are, feeling that way, we're happy to get on a call with them as well. And also having them attend one of the webinars is great too. And I am excited for you too, Michelle. Thank you so much. I hope this has inspired a lot of you guys to want to do something and improve your life and know that you can reach the goals that you have for your family and you aren't stuck. There are options. You guys can reach your goals and you don't have to feel stuck in a job. Um, not working, but I need to get back in the game soon. Awesome. Well, then this is perfect. If you're not working, and you'll be able to really scale this up quick. Thank you for your time too, Tammy. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to, unless you guys have more questions, let you guys all go for your, get back to what you got going on today. And I'll be back on here on Saturday too. If you guys need to invite your spouses or significant others or need to come back on and ask me a question, happy to do that. And be looking for our email and text later this afternoon. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later. Have a great day.